everyone, welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra with me, Shail Patnagar, and this is Market Today, and you're watching the closing hour with us on Business Today Television. The markets are still lower in trade. In fact, near the lowest point of the day, 278 points of a cut on the Nifty right now, 24,730, just a day after when the markets had managed to claim a record high and a milestone of 25,000 and beyond that as well. The Nifty Bank is just down by about 0.2%, so it's still better off than the benchmark indices. What's causing this kind of a sharp sell-off is a whole host of sectors where the pain is being seen. Realty space is down over 3.5%. That's where a major pain point is occurring. Autos are down by almost 2.9%. Metals are down by 2.5%. IT stocks are down 2.3% as well. PSU banks, infra, oil and gas, over 1% of loss in all of these sectors. Even the broader markets, although they have reduced the kind of sell-off that they saw in the morning, about 0.8% of a decline for the mid caps, 0.7% of a fall for the small caps is what you can see. It's the India that you need to keep an eye out on. 9.5% high in trade at 14.1 odd levels. Extremely high volatility within the Nifty. Out of the 50 stocks, 40 stocks are down in the red. Which are the ones that are still holding up despite this over 1% cut? Divis Laboratories 1.6% higher. Pharma stocks clearly that are pulling up within this negative market. Dr. Reddy's, Sun Pharma holding up in trade. HDFC Bank, the other heavyweight, that's up by 1.4%, is contributing to stemming some of the losses for the markets. Asian Paints, Nestle, Kotak Mahindra Bank remain some of the other movers at this point in time as well. Even the PSU index is down by 1.7%. So the markets have not actually gained that strength to come back after that initial sell-off that we saw in the morning. They have lied low for all this while. Good afternoon, Shail.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at the positives. Yes, the Nifty has disappointed, and the disappointment is purely on the lack on global cues. We were hoping at least that you'd see a smart bounce back from early morning lows, but they've been revisited again, and we still have about 40 minutes left. But 24,736, this is the 10 EMA that is being tested, and 51,465 on the Bank Nifty, which is the 50-day exponential moving average that's being tested. What's positive? Well, Zomato and nothing else. Sakshi, the volume today is at least a one-year high. Almost 9,281 crores worth of transaction is done. Now, the volume is at a one-year high in terms of number of shares traded, which is 35 crores. Hold your breath. And Sakshi, same time, August last year, identical date, it was earnings, and that day we had the same volume. Of course, the stock price was at 80, and today it is at almost 263. I think the intraday high, if I remember very correctly, was somewhere in the vicinity of 269. That much I remember. Okay, the intraday high is 278.70. So that's the only positive that I see in trade today. And of course, HDFC Bank has been very smartly used by an intelligent set of traders to sort of balance out the Nifty. Minus the 1% gain on HDFC Bank, you would have seen a very dramatically poorer picture of the Sensex. HDFC Bank on its own is contributing 25 points to Nifty's positivity, but what's pulling it down? L&T 32 points, Reliance 32 points, Infosys 32 points. You would have imagined that with the immediate withdrawal of the GST notice, you would see a better number, because yesterday when the notice was made public, the stock was flat, down 8.8%, and today when the notice has been withdrawn, the counter's down 1.8%. That's the fall on the Nasdaq, which is impacting local stocks. But new highs in the market, let's just look at them for a moment. Zomato we've discussed, and if Zomato is at a new high, how can Bikaji be behind? So 750 on Bikaji, 4.9% higher. You have Ajanta Pharma, Dr. Reddy's, Torrent Pharma, Aurobindo Pharma from the Pharma pack pushing record peaks. So 6 pharma companies at record highs. That shows the defensive nature of the market. And Sakshi, 2 power companies, which is Tata Power and NTPC also at fresh high. So that's the state of the play, but nothing in terms of volume. It's only Zomato that's crying out for attention. Otherwise, it's par for the course, Sakshi. Nothing much to talk about. Perhaps it's the rest before the weekend. And remember, the last 6 trading sessions, 5 have been in the green, and the Nifty has appreciated 600 points in these 5. It's giving back 264. Nothing to be worried about, Sakshi.
Absolutely. Let's look at the F&O space as well. You have Info Edge that's climbed up 4% high in trade. Remember, interestingly, it's Info Edge stake in Zomato that is also getting appreciated because of the sharp rally in Zomato as well. And probably that also is an added on trigger for Info Edge to move up in trades today. In the F&O space, it's up by 4.2% today. Balkrishna Industries is up by 3.9%. You have IEX that's been, of course, as part of the past story that Shell was also reiterating, has been buzzing in trade. In the F&O space, the IEX stock is hovering about 3.2% higher. You have Granules India again that's buzzing. Again, the pharma story unfolding. Vodafone Idea after a long haul is looking at some positivity coming back to the fore, 2.2% higher for this one. And since we are talking about all the food, Jubilant Foodworks is also coming back, 1.9% higher in trade. So that's another one that's been buzzing. You have Aurobindo Pharma, again the pharma story that's playing out, and some cement pack stocks that are buzzing. So India Cements, Ramco Cements, those are the ones that are buzzing in trade as of now. So those are the kind of momentum based stocks that we are looking at. FMCG, Pharma, slight private sector bank heavyweights that are contributing to the markets right now, but largely it's a day where the markets and the bulls are definitely taking a rest. Broadest index, are there any interesting names that one can look at? Yes, Paytm, 7% higher in trade right now for Paytm, and it's hovering around 531 odd levels right now. So of course, apart from Zomato, it's also the other new age tech company that's been rallying sharply. In fact, with the volumes also accompanying with the kind of move that we are seeing on this one. Let's also look at whether there is a move across the board. Let's also pull up Nykaa, PB Fintech, delivery, those kind of companies, maybe car trade tech, to see if there is a momentum across the board. Yes, Nykaa is up another 5% as well, 202 levels coming in for this one too. Let's pull up the other stocks like PB Fintech and car trade tech. Car trade tech is also almost at the day's high point, 2.5% higher in trade. It's trading at about 889 odd levels. Policy Bazaar, let's pull up that one too to see if there is a trend across the board. Yes, 3.7% higher. It's the new age internet based stocks that are actually hovering higher. Let's welcome our guest on board to understand, what do our guests make of this momentum. Swati Hotkar is joining in, AVP Technical Research at Nirmal Bang. Swati, warm welcome. Good to have you with us on Business Today Television and on Market Today. We'll ask you on the markets for sure, and which way do you see and when do you see the recovery coming back. But we were just talking about these internet-based stocks. Of course, Zomato had that earnings fillip to it, but we were discussing many others. Nykaa has been buzzing, Paytm has been coming back into the fore. There's also PB Fintech, car trade tech. How are you looking at this momentum within the new age internet tech space?
Yeah, on the technical front, definitely because of the result, we have seen that the Zomato has really done very well. Nykaa and Paytm is also just giving a very spectacular performance from the last 4 to 5 trading sessions. Coming towards the Zomato, really the result has been done very well, and I believe that the stock has potential to reach up to at least minimum 300 to 350 levels. So the view is definitely positive. Volumes are increasing along with the price momentum. The stock is trading in upward rising channel. So those who are having any long position, definitely hold on. On a downside, it has a very good support at around 240 levels. So by maintaining that particular stop loss, one can definitely go for a long position or say hold the long position for immediate target of 320 to 340 levels. Coming towards the Nykaa is definitely has given a very strong consolidation breakout on the weekly chart. If we look towards the weekly chart, from the last few weeks, the stock was got consolidated within the range of 150 to 180 levels. As soon as it has given the breakout with the decent volumes, the stock has just reversal its trend from the downwards towards the upwards. Now, as of now, the stock is trading near its new 52 high towards 202 levels. but this momentum is likely to be carried forward towards to 32 to 40 levels. So the long positions can definitely hold on, or even fresh longs can be initiated at the current market price. Downside, it has a very good support of 185 rupees. So you can hold the long positions by maintaining a 185 support levels for immediate target of 240 to 260.
Right. It's a very slow market so far. Let's look at the winners apart from the F&O space as also the internet space. It's Pharma and Pharma all the way. Sakshi, we've mentioned record highs, but let's look at prices which have not hit record highs. Hello, Swati. Would you just pay attention to Lupin? The reason why I point this out is that it's still to hit its record high, still up 5%, and it's the volume that is attracting the traders. Almost 17.9 lakh shares have been traded, and this is 1.37 times, 0.5% higher. What are the charts of Lupin telling you for the medium term, Swati?
Actually, the charts really showing very well strong strength in this particular counter. If we look on the larger degree, the monthly charts indicates that the stock has given the breakout of the flat pattern formations. After the 4-5 months of a formation, consolidation formation, the stock has given the breakout, which is a very positive indication on the larger degree. I believe looking towards this particular formations on the weekly as well as on the monthly chart, the stock is likely to carry this momentum at least towards to 2200 levels in the higher side. This will be the short term target, and for longer term horizon, definitely 2500, 2600 levels can be seen. Those who are having any long position, they can hold on, or if you're looking for any long positions, we just wait for a timing because the stock is entering into the overbought zone. Any correction towards to 1800 or 1850 levels, one can go for a long positions for immediate target of 2200 to 2200 levels in the answer.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on Lupin. I just wanted to see who's the top performing stock in terms of the pharma space, and okay, it's F&O based Zydus Life, 81% so far in 2024. Glenmark and Natco. These are the two stocks from the mid cap pharma space that's doing well, as also Granules India. We've requested a chart check from our side on Lupin. Swati, do you have a favorite in the pharma space where charts look elegant to you in terms of more long-term gains in the offing?
See, on the pharma sector as of now, definitely Granules has shown a very strong rally as such. If we look towards on the monthly chart, it has given the very strong breakout of the symmetrical triangle pattern. But already the rally has been factored in. From the almost 370 levels to 645 levels, we have seen a very good rally. So fresh long positions will not be initiated at the current market price because the stock is trading into the overbought zone. So I will suggest not to create a long position, but those who are having any long position, lower side definitely can hold on. This rally is likely to stretch up to 700 rupees, or we might witness some profit at the higher level. So hold your long position, but not to create any fresh long position at the current market price. Coming towards the Zydus, yes, we are likely to witness more upside movements in the stock. As of now, if it was the charts pattern, so even the fresh stock can be also added at the current market price and price 1250 levels. Very good indication on the momentum rallies.
Make up what she said.
Positions by maintaining stock.
Okay. There are some numbers that are coming in. I'll just reiterate some of those. UPL has come out with its numbers. Disappointing set. The company's reported losses from 166 odd crore rupees of profit last year. It's reported a loss in this quarter of 384 odd crore rupees, and we've seen the revenue just up marginal 1.2% higher in trade, 1.2% year on year. Margins have also slipped to 12% from 14.2% earlier. Operationally, again, there is weakness. 13.5% lower is what the EBITDA figure has come in at 1101 odd crore rupees currently as well. The stock has slipped to the low point of the day. You can see a 2.5% downtick for UPL. Swati, earnings are definitely disappointing. What do the charts of UPL tell you? There's been lacking strength, and more so now going forward because of these disappointing earnings.
Yes, Sakshi, you rightly pointed out that the stock is not really very well on the technical front as well. Today it's down by almost 3%. And the interesting fact is that the stock has formed a double top nearby 580 levels and just forming the M pattern. And also today it has given the breakdown of short-term moving average, that is a 50 days moving average, which is a very cautious sign of current levels. So I believe that selling pressure is likely to increase few traditionally it's 20-day, 200-day moving average, which comes to nearby its 530 level, and below that level, 520 levels can be tested. So the view is bit cautious not to create any long position. Those who are having any buy call of a lower side, definitely one should book the profits. Next term can be seen only if the stock is manages to give the breakout of 60 levels. Then only we will witness some back against the counter. But at the current level, I put the long position at the moment.
Okay, got it. So stay away. That's the view coming in on UPL as of now. Let me ask you on InfoEdge, the top mover on the FNO space, and tell us both. In fact, if you can talk about Zomato and InfoEdge at the same breath, because I guess InfoEdge is also moving at the same breath because of Zomato's the stake in Zomato. How would you treat both these stocks?
See, definitely, Naukri, we have seen a very good rainfall, if you can call it. Definitely, the volumes are really doing very well today, along with the price momentums. The overall technical structure is also positive. Continuously from the month of the February to March, we have seen that the stock is spreading in the formations of upward rising channels. So slowly and steadily, it is moving upside. At least on the higher side, we will hit the target of 7,500 levels on the uptrend. So definitely, I can hold their long versus Zomato, yes, because of the result today, we have seen a very good amount of rally. The stock has very important moving averages. So I believe, as I quoted initial also, the upside target is 300. Also, one can hold the long. But market maintaining the strict stop loss.
Okay, at this level of 263, up about 12%, and almost 8 threes at 24. So it's almost a 3.5x gain in the last 1 year on Zomato. Sakshi, at this level, it's discounting FY27 earnings. So for those who chase momentum, please be a little careful.
Yeah.
Ultimately, stocks are slaves to earnings, and the short term definitely is what is known as a liquidity red momentum or an uptick, but in the long term, the only thing that matters is earnings. So for the moment, it seems to be little far ahead of its grasp, but that's how it is. What we'll do, Sakshi, is we'll take a detour to North Block.
Yes.
Karishma is waiting for us as far as details on that sudden appearance and equally sudden disappearance of a 32,000 crore rupee GST notice of Infosys is concerned. And the irony of it all is that Infosys has designed the GST software on which the government of India works, and it's been accused of, or was accused to have allegedly not paid a GST of 32,000 crore rupees. Karishma, what are your sources telling you in the finance ministry? एक दिन आया notice और अगले दिन वापस ले लिया गया.
Shell, actually, there are two notices that Infosys is currently battling with. One is the Karnataka GST authorities who have taken it back. The second is the DGGI notice from the intelligence unit, which still stands firm, and this is the notice of about close to 32,000 crore that Infosys has been issued of. But the good news is that looks like this notice may also stand withdrawn in the coming days, because it was only just last month that the CBIC, in fact, had amended the rules, Rule 28A under CGST Act. In fact, it comes from a recent policy circular of June 26, which clarifies that valuation of a service provided by foreign affiliates to related domestic entities in India, especially when the domestic entity qualifies for full input tax credit. So hence, अगर इस पे open market value लिया जाएगा, then as per that, in a way, Infosys is right in its justification that it has submitted that it need not pay any kind of tax. So this will be reviewed now by GST authorities, basis on which there could be no case further. But however, if the GST authorities think that there is some partial tax that Infosys will still have to pay, then Infosys, of course, again will have the option to avail Section 11 under CGST Act, which say retrospective tax demands can be waived off by the Revenue Department of the government. So it will be important to see in the coming days how GST authorities are looking at this, because this is just a pre-show cause notice, and Infosys will get its due chance to explain the matter, which they've been doing, and government will have a chance to review their decision.
So, do we take it that for the moment there is no show cause notice issued to Infosys, and whatever was issued has been taken away, so there is no overhang?
It's a pre-show cause notice, which is like a preliminary inquiry. It is only after the review by Finance Ministry that a show cause notice can be issued. So as of now, to say that there is a show cause notice of them will not be factually correct. So in a way, it is just a case of discussion.
Okay. Just as there is an after party after the main party, this is a pre-show cause notice before the main show cause notice. So this is what the story is, ladies and gentlemen, and there was a lot of noise made in the media, because just 3 days ago, Mr. Narayan Murthy, who is one of the co-founders of Infosys, had pointed out the practicality in trying not to compare Indian manufacturing and Indian infrastructure with China, and after this the notice came about and people started to make 2 plus 2 equal to 22. Sakshi.
Right. Well, thanks a lot, Karishma, for all that update. Keep an eye out on that space. We'll just have to see whether the GST, meeting just happens in the same fashion like you have talked about, and the retrospective taxes are also waived off. If that happens, we could actually hope for the stock to recover in the coming days as well, going forward from here. Thanks a lot for that, Karishma. We'll get back to Swati to understand her viewpoint on the entire IT space. IT space was doing rather well in the last week or so. It did show that bounce back coming in, especially with some positive surprise coming in from most of these top 4 or 5 big IT firms. And of course the markets have rewarded these stocks also pretty handsomely post the earnings. But what next? Do you still find that these dips are attractive levels to get into some of these stocks?
Yes, absolutely, definitely. We have seen a very good rally in the Infosys especially, and but definitely on every dips, definitely that looks very interesting because this particular sector has not actually compared to other sectors. So I believe definitely any dips also on account of the growth and the earning, take up very strong positions and people for the particular market. Outside that looks very interesting for a longer term horizon.
Okay, a bit of a worry on the Nifty side, Sakshi. A triple centuries
Yes.
losses, and what's at risk is 24,700 selling pressure piling up on the last day of the week, and not only selling pressure, it's more or less a very strong bout of profit booking now. This downtick that has turned itself into. You have 4 plus 4 plus 1, 9 gainers as far as the market is concerned on the Nifty, and let me just see, yes, 4 plus 4, 8 gainers, of which Divi's, Dr. Reddy's, Sun Pharma, and are from the pharma space, and you have 3 FMCG companies, Asian Paints, Nestle, and of course let's take Kotak Bank as also an FMCG product. So it's a completely defensive kind of a market, and 24,700 is where the bulls are at the moment. This is almost 26 minutes left for trade. Let us see how it pans out. Let's look at the broader advanced decline. Remember, we started on a very back foot. 280 stocks were in the green when the first ticks came in at 9:15. Still 790 stocks are in the green. This is a big plus, only 1500 in the red. This is how it pans out. NSE 500. The worst number that I had seen in the morning was 80 stocks in the green. Now 137 stocks are in the green. Nevertheless, there is even a 200-point cut on the Nifty 500. So 1 percentage point down on Nifty 500. Nifty 50 is down 1.2 and IT index is down 2.3, primarily led by the downtick in Infosys. We still have 25 minutes to go. Let us see where this market settles on Friday evening. Sakshi.
Right. We'll thank you, Swati, for being with us on this very special edition and sharing all your thoughts and ideas with us on this special trade. Thank you. Appreciate your time. And viewers, what we'll do is we'll also welcome our other guests now who's joining in. We have with us now Mr. Chakri Lokpriya, Managing Partner, Red Strawberry LLP, joining in with us. Warm welcome to you, sir, and thank you so much for taking the time out. Well, a lot has happened since the time you last met us on air. We've had budget and we've had the roller coaster ride on the stock markets as well, and something that unfolds today is right after that milestone level of 25,000. How are you assessing the move on the markets right now, and where do you see the markets headed? More pain or a bounce back equally sharper maybe Monday?
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me. I think, since we last met, yes, you're right. One, of course, the budget, the taxes, the capital gain taxes, which is increased, which is clearly negative for the market over the longer run. Second, in terms of the retroactive GST taxes on the IT, on Infosys, and if it's Infosys, then why not the other IT companies? Clearly reflects a very unfair way to look at the entire IT industry. In fact, it defeats the whole offshoring model. And third is, the retroactive taxes that they're talking about on the metal industry. That will take back the economy several years if it's implemented. So all of it depends. And mind you, all these names, if you add together IT plus metals, add up a very significant chunk of the Nifty. And so the Nifty's outlook is dependent on whether they do anything which is untoward or not. The government-related entities do anything untoward or not.
Good afternoon, Chakri. A very warm welcome to you. And it's a pleasure always to listen to your views, especially at a time when it could be an opportunity to deploy fresh funds. Now, tell us what are the stocks that have been added to the Red Strawberry portfolio over the last month or so, and where have you exited or at least booked partial profit?
I think where we continue to be positive and we've added some positions is within the power sector, the renewable power sector. In spite of, they have run up. For example, take Sectoral, it has about a 30% market share. The company has a nearly 3 gigawatt order book. The India's whole renewable power is at about 89 gigawatts in about 4-5 years from now. Now, if you look at those kind of numbers, the growth ahead of the company and the sector is very good. Second is affordable housing, whether it's PNB housing, Repco, Huntco, all this will clearly benefit with what happened in the budget. So I think these are the two areas we've looked at.
Okay, and any particular stocks that you've shortlisted or added to your existing tally from these two spaces?
Yes, in terms of one is, of course, Sutherland, we've added further positions to the space. And then we've added Huntco, PNB housing, and Repco as well.
Okay, my apologies, I missed the names. So it's PNB Housing, Repco, and of course as fresh ones, and of course an addition in Suzlon. And any places where you've booked partial profit to sort of enjoy a fantastic mid-year bonus?
Yes, we've taken some chips off the table from the railway sector because in the budget there's there's just about maintained whatever was expected in the budget. So companies like Titago, Wagon, Texmac have all done phenomenally well. I still think they're really good companies. They'll still make returns over the longer term, but for the time being, we've booked profits.
Okay. I want to take your view on Zomato, Chakri. How have you assessed the earnings, one, and the reaction to earnings, two? Almost a 19% move in trade today, and of course retracing from that level. But do you still feel Zomato has enough and more with this kind of earnings that have been presented? Brokerage houses are pegging 350 and higher targets. Does it have enough and more to go from here?
Well, if you look at what happened to Zomato is, the gross order value, that number is kind of pegged to grow at about 18-20% over the next couple of years. Now, if indeed that happens, and if the margins improve further, and then their losses narrow further, and of course, with Blinkit continues to execute better. So, if you notice, there are a lot of if, then Zomato can hit that 350 number, because this business is all about execution. It's about deliveries. It is about huge amount of human resource capital, et cetera, et cetera. And its valuations also reflect that. So I wouldn't really add at the current levels.
Sakshi, what's interesting is, let's get into the small cap 100 index and look at the winners. The reason why I say this is that, it's such a boring market. What do we tell you? The Nifty is down 300, the Nifty IT is down 973 points. We've said that repeatedly, and it's not changing. Either it goes down further or starts to sort of rebound, and none of it is happening. So, gainers, we've discussed Zomato in great detail as far as today's markets are concerned, and Sakshi's gone through the entire list of internet-based companies. So, surprise, surprise, JK Bank is up 7% almost, 117. These are newer names that come up very rarely in our conversation. Tata Tele Maharashtra Services. Last time I checked this one, it was in single digits. Now 5% higher, 98. RK Forgings, Ramkrishna Forgings, probably a record high, 4% higher, 887. And Amber Enterprises, this is running in sync with the moves that you're seeing in what was that company? Dixon Technologies. So Amber is up 3.5%, 4410. I believe this is also headed for a record high. And you have chemicals company JB Chemicals, NBCC India, and of course Castrol India. So these are unusual names which we never go in great detail or in great regularity. But given the fact that the broader markets are not doing anything, this looks to be a good list to at least dip into. Chakri, any view that you would have on Amber Enterprises?
Amber and Dixon, both the companies in that space, that space will do well because, if you look at Dixon, for instance, the record number of mobile phones that are being manufactured in India, they want to increase the number of components that will be manufactured further. Amber, with a very similar story, they want to do more of AC import substitution within the ACs that they manufacture for various brands. And then Dixon has opened new plants in, I think, Tamil Nadu for manufacture of new laptops. Now, all these are import substitution plus products in huge demand. And the PLI schemes will clearly help these companies. So I think both these companies are well positioned even at current levels.
Okay, Chakri, do tell us, how are you looking at this entire power theme that's been emerging? A lot of stocks that have been buzzing and coming on top of technical analyst radar. So I wanted to get a fundamental sense on it as well. Stocks like Power Grid, NTPC, CESC. You did name Suzlon from the renewable energy space that you're watching out for. How should one who's not had a power stock or stocks in their portfolio really look at this space now?
This space, I think, as long as the government does not play around and mess around with the tariff structures for the renewable energy, I think is a great sector to be, because the amount of work that is happening within these sectors. Now, if you look at NTPC now is going to get into nuclear power, and a company where nuclear power requires lots of movable parts, a lot of government clearances, and therefore a PSU company, NTPC, will be able to wade those the waters far more easily than a private company. And if you look at power grid, again, transmission is going to become a very big issue, because when you have hydel power, thermal power, wind power, solar power, they are different kinds of power with different intensities, which means the grid should be able to understand how to handle powers from different sources. So the technical complexity of a grid management, which Power Grid is the leader, will actually make a phenomenal game changer fast forward 10 years. So I think, these companies still look good, even though they've done very well. I think they'll continue to do well.
Fair point. 3:12, ladies and gentlemen. We have about 18 minutes of trade left, and remarkably, there has been little or next to no buying support for the Nifty at current levels. What basically you can make out from today's opening quote and towards the close that we are headed is that there isn't much damage done after the opening. Of course, we did test somewhere like 24,820, 840, but from then on the selling pressure also accelerated. I think Sakshi will have a close above 24,700. That's the only second possibility and the positivity that I see in the market. But beyond that, look at the advanced decline ratio of the F&O space. It's 30 futures in the green and 155 in the red. Let's look at the Nifty advanced decline ratio. In a moment it should be with me. Yes, 43 stocks in the red, 7 in the green, and within the watch, which is my top 12 stocks based on index heavyweights, 10 are down, only 2 are up, and the ones that are up are, ladies and gentlemen, HDFC Bank and Kotak Bank. So it gives me absolutely no comfort at all for tomorrow, which is Monday. Even ITC and Hindustan Unilever, Sakshi, they started in the green, and they've sort of come down as far as prices are concerned. That's what the structure is. The only hope that I see is that this is not accompanied by a very sharp uptick in volume. That's mainly because you opened 250 points lower. So what could you sort of, press as fresh sale? That's a good strategy by bulls. Kholi to 250 point niche.
Absolutely. Makes sense. So we'll take your view, Chakri. FMCG and the second space is Pharma. Those are the saving graces in these dips in the markets. Are you also advising clients to hedge their portfolios by including some of these defensive pack stocks?
Shailji is right. When so many moving parts are not doing well, the big names are not doing well, these are places to hide. So, would you make real big returns? Maybe not, but you can at least protect your capital.
Chakri, I'm sure there's a party planned in your city over the weekend because we just celebrated the 25th silver anniversary for the Nifty. So, what plans for the party? And I've been asking this question to a lot of people. When you first came into the markets on your first day, what was the value of the Nifty? Even the first month will do, if you can recollect.
Yeah, I came into the market in 1995. So,
okay, the Nifty was there.
Yeah, and so since then, I think what was the index level actually? If people can pull up the numbers, it will be phenomenal. I think this market has compounded at about 18%, if I recall right.
95 which month? I'll give you the Sensex because that was more
September, August, September.
Okay. I've been doing this trick and Sakshi's just watching my face. Why does he do it every time? The reason why I do it every time is I just want to sort of convey the level of the percentage gains that people have made by doing absolutely nothing and remaining invested. So hold your breath, Chakri. 1995, you say September, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Well. 3,127 is what I see on the Sensex on 1st of August 95. Wow. And it's almost the same. 3,300. Wow. Okay. So 3,000. Yes. 3,300. And we've just seen 81,000 as far as prices are concerned. So 81,000 divided by 3,300. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a 24x return by just sort of, watching paint dry and sitting on a bench.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
So, the only loss I believe Chakri may have notched up is that, with so much of hard work and so much of cerebral inputs that he's done, he has, let's say,
Lost all the head in between.
well, he said it, I didn't point out. I may have hinted about it, but then that's how it is, ladies and gentlemen. Behind this humor and good rib tickling, I just want to point out, you made 25x your money by just remaining invested. If you just do it from now onwards,
Yes.
for the next 25 years, you will have a better strike rate, a better rate of return. Remember, in 1995, it wasn't even polite conversation in middle class homes to say that you were in the share market.
Yes.
Right.
Looked down
Yeah.
upon, I believe. Looked down upon,
Yeah,
I
people
believe.
would. I can't even. In North India, we are very free with cuss words. I can't even tell you what all my parents used to hear. कि बेटा कहाँ काम कर रहा है.
Yeah. 100% right. You're 100% right.
And nowadays you see ads about traders getting married and sort of.
No, SEBI study says married men and women make more money while trading.
Where is this conversation headed? We're just talking about parties. This is pure party conversation.
True. Actually on that topic, Shail, which is, each time a country reaches that inflection point,
Yes.
USA, China, Japan of the $5 trillion mark, from that point on, the markets in each of these countries has gone up 5x, 10x.
Yes.
So which means India is already at close to, whatever, $4 trillion. In under 3-4 years, we will hit $5 trillion. In this time, I think the run up will continue markets will continue to do well.
Okay. So another question that I have, 1995 minus 2024 is 24 plus 5, 29 years. Did you by any chance join the market when you were 10 years old or what?
Well, I'm now 52, so whatever you minus do the math. Now I've been there.
Okay. And is all this time spent in India or were you overseas as well?
A good chunk. I was with JP Morgan in New York
Okay.
from 95 until 2000, then BNP Paribas for another 10, 12 years, and then wonderful India the last 10 years.
Okay. We are sort of having this chat because there's nothing to discuss in the markets. My apologies to ask such questions on air.
No.
Sakshi is having fun,
yes.
She's been in the markets for 20 years but is 21
Not
years of
20
age.
years.
21 years of age.
No, only 13 years.
So 13. Okay, now let me do this also, Sakshi. So what was the? I've been asking this question shamelessly with everyone since the last 2 or 3 days. Sakshi, 13 years, that makes it
2010 and
11.
Yeah.
Okay, which month was it?
Okay, maybe November.
Let's just take it August.
August, yeah.
Everybody is
That's
coming
best.
into the market since August. I don't know why. 2011, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold your heart. Okay. 5,340. So 5x returns for Sakshi as well.
Wow. Fantastic.
Only if I had been one of those investors without just watching it on the screen, changing numbers, when I would say, scratch my head and ask you, Shell. Not many people would know back then. I had just joined as a cub reporter and Shell was used to be our boss that time.
No, I was nobody's boss. I was working in the same office as she was. But
So,
let me,
yeah.
okay, now it's my turn. Let me tell you some interesting things which, people don't realize. Okay, so this is May 1994, my first day into the markets. Let me also see, मेरे को भी याद नहीं है. I'm talking about, so Nifty was introduced after I joined the markets, and I distinctly remember reading Business Standard headlines on a regular basis that today's turnover crossed 350 crores. Sakshi, you will not believe market started at 12 noon and ended at 2:30.
Wow.
Those were the great days. Though you have no idea what fun we've had.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah, you're right.
24th December to 31st December was a holiday.
Really?
Yeah, all of us used to meet in Goa. And what else was very good? And then they extended it from 12 to 2:30, then 10 a.m. to 3:30. And I used to have a lot of fun in open outcry in the Bombay Stock Exchange. Very recently, I went back to the main ring, which is now auditorium and hall. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have it for you. Okay, July. Okay, it is 3,772 on the Sensex. So almost the same as Chakri. So the market did nothing for 1 year, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
I joined in
yeah.
94, he joined in 95. So
Yes.
that's how it is. And one more important part, Sakshi, I'd just like to mark is the first 5,000 that the Nifty took in terms
Long
of
time, I'm sure.
hitting that 5,000 mark. I think it was in 2000. No, this was, let me just, the data is loading. So it took more than a decade for the Nifty to hit 5,000 points. This is, okay. Yes, here we are. 610. Okay. Let's just say October 2007 was the 5,000 point mark on the Nifty. So if it's been trading from 1995, ladies and gentlemen, so that's 7 plus 5, 12 years, Sakshi. And the last 5,000 has
Must have been
come in,
just 2 years, I believe.
yeah, less than 2. So let's just say 5,000 would be 20,000, right? So we
Yes.
were
Yeah.
on August
2021,
of 23.
23.
So the first 5,000 came in 12 years. The last 5,000 have come in
1.5 years.
1 year.
1 year.
So this is how, this is what compounding is, ladies and gentlemen. You can just understand if it were the same rate that you were making money, what you've made in the last 1 year is what people made in their first 12.
Yeah.
So please understand that while both Sakshi and I and Chakri and everybody else on the markets does discuss intraday
Yeah.
and weekly and positional and this and that and entry and exit, but the real money is made when you just sit it out, and more money is made very quickly. Now the next 5,000 hopefully will take less than a year, 18 months. So keep that in mind and you will make more money in that 5,000 than you made in the previous 5. Am I right, Chakri?
You're absolutely right, and I think that's the power of compounding. And also, given the fact the market is becoming, you can remember back then versus now, the number of companies that is
Yeah.
there. The market is far more, thousands of companies, and all these companies' liquidity as it increases, it increases the opportunity that one can invest in.
Right. Interesting things that I just want to ask you right before we let you go and the markets also shut shop for the day is, since you're talking about a lot many more companies now on the exchanges, I'll talk to you about the newer IPOs. Ola IPO that got I think fully subscribed on day 1. How are you looking at some such interesting names that are coming in? First Cry is going to come in very soon. How are you looking at these new age IPOs?
Yeah, see, well, Ola's valuation is down about 25-30% from where they had valued it about a year ago. And now the 6,000 odd crores that they're going to raise will be used for debt reduction and also expansion of Ola Electric. Now, to put things into perspective, the company will be trading at the implied valuation at about 7-8 times market value. Whereas mark-to-market capitalization, whereas TVS Motors, which is a very similar business, two-wheelers, it has of course both electric and non-electric, conventional, that trades at about 3 times. So, which means Ola is coming in at more than double the valuation.
What chances, Chakri, that retail investors who are new to the market might have a bad experience as they did with Paytm when it comes to Ola?
I think Ola's valuations are high because if you look at the EV industry, both whether it's TVS Motors or Bajaj, they have existing franchises, very strong brand names. They have good distribution channels. They have the whole 9 years required to market a EV bike, whereas Ola Electric has to put together the whole chain, and that is an expensive proposition, and therefore coming at such a big premium to existing players, I think is a bit. Will investors will take time to make money in the stock.
There was this lovely conversation happening on Dalal Street between a lot of top-end retail IPO investors who had actually burnt their hands over the last 2.5 years by punting onto IPOs, and the common understanding after a lot of chai was that the Indian IPO market is best approached 1 year later than the listing, after the listing. So probably the same stock that you've been wanting to buy desperately in IPO, which has a 200 times oversubscription, will be going a begging 1 year later, and no better example than Tata Technologies. So the listing was 1300, and I think the last I checked it was almost 11. It also went below 1000 if I am not mistaken. Oh, why went below 1000? It is below 1000. So that's how, ladies and gentlemen, the sensible people make money. The only thing that is in your hand is your purchase price, and on that is the most critical mathematical formula applied, your rate of return. So the patient make the maximum money. Chakri, final word is yours.
Thank you. I think the markets, hopefully all these taxes, GSTs, retroactive on IT industry, retroactive on mining, etc. If they are, if they go away, and I think markets will start climbing upward because the earnings, we're at the cusp of an earnings recovery.
Okay, well, on that note, we'll thank you, Chakri, for that fantastic Friday conversation and wonderful insights that you always share with our viewers. Always appreciate your time with us. See you very soon back on Market Today and on Business Today television. And the markets have slipped below that 24,700 mark at the final minute. 311 points lower in trade. I think this is the lowest point in trade that we've seen for today. 1.3% lower for the Nifty, and the Nifty Bank ending almost 0.4% lower at 226 point of a cut, 51,337 for the Nifty Bank. All the sectors barring the pharma slipped into the red. Maximum pain point, realty, auto, metals, IT, PSU banks in that order. Pharma space managed to eke out gains of about 0.4%. Divis, HDFC Bank, Dr. Reddy's, Sun Pharma, Britannia, Nestle, Kotak Mahindra Bank were the sole big gainers on the Nifty in trade today. What lagged? On the Nifty, Eicher Motors slipped 5% lower. Maruti slipped 5% lower. Tata Motors slipped 4.5% lower. Hindalco 4% lower. JSW Steel, Wipro, LTI Mindtree, ONGC, all of these stocks dragged in trade today. Within the F&O losers also, let's look at some stocks. Yes, Cummins India 8.5% lower in trade. Birla Soft almost 6.5% cut. Escorts, Kubota, Oracle Financial Services over 5% cut each. You're also looking at UPL and Tata Motors as the other losers at this point in time. Within the F&O movers, Info Edge, Balkrishna Industries, Granules, IEX remain some of the buzzers. But that's where we end Friday, viewers. Probably the next week will be a better one. This was also a part of how global markets turned out to be, and that's what caused this drag in trade today. But you did see where the earnings came out positive. The markets have rewarded those spaces again in trade today. We'll wrap it up at that. Thanks from both Shell and me for the week. I hope you have a great weekend going forward. We'll catch you soon on Monday morning with Market Today.
So we've trekked all the way up. You see a lot more officials around me at this point. This is the topmost point of Mundakai, where rescue operations are going on. This path behind me leads to another portion of where the landslide hit. And so I've already trekked 7 kilometers. So going further up till there will be another 5 kilometers. Officials have advised me against it, which is why I can't go right now, because they're saying it's dangerous.